When researching into my audience, I did it in a variety of ways. For most of my research, I would ask the audience questions and film their responses. However, I also used questionnaires to gain knowledge also. I aimed my research roughly from young teenagers to adults, as this was the target audience of my film and the demographic I was going for with my film. I began collecting research into the thriller genre and everything the audience expected to see and new things they would like to see in potential thrillers. I asked about typical codes and conventions and stereotypes the thriller genre has and how I could potentially challenge them or meet them. My audience was always helpful with giving me the helpful responses, and I was then able to further my research when creating my film, incorporating my audience's ideas and feedback. From doing audience research throughout my entire production process and after I learned a lot of things from my final product and ways I could improve it and things I did well. During the production of my film, before I even thought about my film storyline, I asked a group of people their opinions of what stereotypically they expect to see in a thriller film, and their typical codes and conventions. I asked a variety of people, roughly from teenagers to young adults, as I knew if my genre was going to be thriller, again, this was roughly the type of audience I'd be aiming for, as thrillers are not suitable for younger ages, rounding off my research and making it a lot easier for me to ask people. I learned a lot from what people stereotypically expect to see in thrillers, and what they mainly expect to see is suspenseful and tense music, creepy locations, dark costumes, and antagonist characters. By getting this information, I was then able to work with what people expected to see in thrillers in my film, letting it meet the stereotypes and conventions, suiting it more to the genre being thriller. However, to make my film more specific to what the audience want to see rather than what they expect, I did questionnaires and audience research into the types of aspects they want to see happen in a thriller, so I could then work them into the conventions and stereotypes and hopefully create something that meets the conventions and says thriller, but is also what my target audience want to see and isn't something repetitive or boring. A lot of my responses included wanting to see something new and original, and something that does happen a lot in thrillers like robberies or murder cases, as this is something they have already seen and the storyline will be predictable, boring and familiar, but however something that still gives the famous on-edge tense feeling a typical thriller does to somebody when they watch films like these. As for audience feedback, when my film was done, I asked again people from my target age range and received a lot of good comments and constructive criticism to work on. My main strong point, I was told multiple times, was my editing and how I did, and what I did was effective to both my storyline and genre of film. Using the red colour correction when the music changed, indicating something was about to happen on screen, was a good way of making it clear to the audience something bad is going to happen, and is a clear indication. By using the colour red, it's supposed to be dangerous or scary, connotating to the thriller genre. Another thing I received feedback on saying I did well was my non-diegetic music. Audience feedback tells me that the music fits and is effective and working well alongside what's happening on screen, and the type of music suits the genre well also. Although the music worked well and fitted the main strong point of the music was the slight change when it was apparent something was happening on screen that caused a darker music change from the current more high-pitched piano music currently playing. This, I was told, worked effectively to really give the audience a creepy and on-edge feel as they watched it, alongside with the static sound effects when it flashes back to the young girl drawing, clearly indicating towards danger or bad connotations. As for improvements, if I was to do this film again, when looking back on my audience feedback, my main issue clearly was the pace of my film. From looking back, although the pace can be effective in terms of building up to the storyline, setting the atmosphere and showing the location, which gives an insight to the characters and their personalities, my film did take a while for the actual story to start, which to some people could come across as slow and boring, as it is only a short film anyway. That is something I could definitely think about if I was to redo this project overall. The technique of building up your location and characters by panning around your location, setting the atmosphere, I was told in my feedback was good, and the shots were done well. However, it was something more commonly used in full-length films. the shots as they have the time to do it. As my film was a maximum of 5 minutes, I should have fitted as much of the storyline in there as possible to really create something interesting and add as many small details to help my storyline move along smoothly and clearly as I possibly could to get the best result. However, half of my time went on opening shots, which, although are effective and have divided opinions, I now feel, looking back on and hearing feedback, I could have cut that time down at least in half and gotten onto my storyline much quicker, allowing me much more time and room for extra scenes in my film that may have made my film slightly clearer or even better.